for this shot, we are just going to go to Blender and render out the backgrounds as usual. But I think these shots are similar to this as well. So I think I'm just going to render a big shot that we can get all these shots from. So let's go to Blender then. So I'm just going to zoom out. So zoom out, then bring the camera to this side. So I'm going to increase the focal length because this is too wide. So 50. Then let's zoom to this side because when you check the storyboard, you see that the door are close to this side. So this side. So I'm just going to move this spaceship to this side. So GX, that means we are grabbing it, then moving it in X axis. So I'm just going to move it somewhere here, somewhere close to this side. Okay, I think we need to bring the camera up a little bit. Okay, somewhere here. So this is great, but there is some space here and some space here. So we need to make this room more bigger. We need to extend it to this side. So move away from the camera view by pressing 0 on your number pad. So I'm just going to come to this side, then go to edit mode by pressing tab, or you can just access it here. So I'm going to click on this edge selection. So let's just come to this side and select all this edge. So select the second one using shift. So shift and select. So I'm just going to press E to extrude. So I think we are extruding and the extruding is following the mouse. So just press X. That means we want to extrude it in X axis. So let's just move it out here. I think this is okay. So I'm going to be splitting the all way from the launch room. Like this, they are one object. So we need to split them. So if you go to the storyboard, you will see that this launch room will be in front of the character, then the hallway is going to be at the back, like the other wall of the hallway. So but these characters here are going to be in front of the launch room. So let's just go to Blender. So I'm just going to select face select. So let's face select this and click Alt and select this as usual. These are going to select as well. So I think that is more than the door. So that's what we just need, and select this place as well. So I'm going to Alt select this as well. Oh, I should have used Shift Alt. So Shift select this and Shift Alt select this. I'm just going to use Shift and Shift. Okay, so I'm going to select the rest here as well, holding Shift. So let's hold Shift, select all this. So I'm just going to change this view so that I'm going to see the rest that I'm not yet I'm not selecting. So I'm just going to select them. So select, oh. So select, okay. So I think this is all. You can just move around and see what you are yet to select. Okay, I think that's all. So I'm just going to right click, then go to separate, then I'm going to separate them by selection. So there are two objects now, so click on tab to go back to the object mode. So once you select these, you can hide this different, you see. Okay, but I'm going to be deleting this, so let's go back to edit mode and select this X, then delete faces. So go back to object mode and unhide the material. So let's go back to the camera view. So I'm just going to hide this drone. So hide it in this view, and we are going to be disabling. We are going to disable it in render as well. So if you are not seeing all this render icon, so let's just click on filter, then check this. So we are going to be seeing disabling in rendering. So just click on this spaceship as well. So I'm going to be hiding this and disabling it in render. Then this lunchroom as well, that is the interiors. So hide it, then disable it in render. So we are just going to render this out now. But before we render, I'm going to go to the render properties, then scroll down and select film. Then I'm going to click on this transparent icon here. So I'm just going to click on render, then render image. So I'm going to wait for this to render out. So once this is done rendering, just click on image, then save. So I'm going to locate the folder. So I'm just going to save this as 2A. Then I'm going to reduce this compression. So let's save this image. So once that is saved, I'm going to close the render view. So I'm going to unhide the interior, which is the lunchroom, then hide the hallway. So we are going to get this as transparent. So let's render this as well. So render image, and let's wait for it to render out. Once it's done rendering, click on image, then save. So I'm just going to save this as 2B. Then reduce this, then let's save this. So I'm just going to click the render view. So we are going to hide this in render as well. So it should mean the spaceship. So enable it in render. So the spaceship as usual, render image. So let's wait for this to render out as well. So once this is done rendering, let's save this as usual. So let's give this 3C, then reduce this, then save. So I'm just going to close the render view. Then you can unhide all this. So I'm just going to save this, and let's go to After Effects. So I'm going to import all the renderings. So just click on scene. So I'm just going to select it 2A to B to C. Let's drag it into this project. So I'm going to drag them into the timeline. So now let's just arrange 2A, we go down, then 2B somewhere here. Okay, so this is our scene. So let's just save this. So Ctrl S to save.